We're all set up here.
Great.
Okay, and then I have all my stuff here.
I love your Squidward bottle.
Thank you. I know I got it from a party. They had a variety party.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, I know. Victoria, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Again, my name is Angelo. I'm with Skewed and Reviewed.
I love it. Awesome name.
Thank you.
One, the name of the outlets.
Thank you. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself? And your presence here is as you're a writer, a producer, and you were moderating the panel as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay, well please tell us a little bit about you.
I'll do the whole thing.
Okay, please.
Yes, I'm a writer-producer right now based out of LA. I've written for a bunch of different mediums. I made it to the final round of the Academy's Nickel Fellowship, which is their big,
awesome.
like basically the Oscar screenwriting competition this past year, which was a huge honor. I also made it onto the Love List of the best unproduced romance screenplays in Hollywood this year, which was again another amazing honor. But I've also written short stories that have been published in over a dozen literary magazines worldwide, and I'm currently writing on an audio series for the app Pocket FN called Murder Overboard. So a little bit of everything. As a producer, I used to produce a podcast called Your Biggest Fangirl, which you can still tune into on all your favorite podcast players. Feels very relevant since we're here nerding out at Comic-Con.
Yes.
And then before I pursued writing and producing full-time, I spent 5 years working under Ivan Reitman at the Ghostbusters franchise and his production company, the Montecito Picture Company.
Nice.
Yes, that was amazing. I felt like I had like the best producing creative development boot camp out there, working under Ivan and his team. And then, yes, I was so honored that the team at Impact 24 asked me to moderate the Hollywood Game Changers panel, an all-female panel.
Yes.
Giving really practical, actionable advice on how we can all rise together in the film industry as women, because even though it's 2024, there's still a long way for us to go toward parity and the respect I think all of us deserve.
Awesome, great. And then speaking of the Love List that you were talking about, can you just tell us a little more about the Love List? And also, please tell us about Sculpted.
Oh my God, you know it! Yes, okay, the Love List was founded by these two amazing women. One is a writer, Lindsay Grossman. The other one is a brilliant executive at Will Gluck's company. She's the director of development at Olive Bridge, Madison Jones. And I love the mission of the Love List because it's all about legitimizing and really putting romance and romantic comedy at the forefront. Because I feel like that genre tends to get, especially because it tends to appeal to women, it gets poo-pooed and dismissed. And I love, it meant so much to me that Sculpted, my half-hour comedy, made the first ever Love List, because I think it's a really great of reclaiming and taking up space as women in this industry, of saying, hey, these scripts are all great, you should all be making these, and yes, they're romance, and by the way, the rom-com is back. So, my script, Sculpted, is a gender flip take on the myth of Pygmalion, where a female sculptor, Pygmalia, she runs into some romantic trouble. Her fiance breaks up with her because she won't stop sculpting after they get married. She drinks a lot about it, and then goes on a drunken rant to Aphrodite at her temple. So, and then stumbles home the next morning and puts her broken heart into her art and sculpts her ideal man. Only for Aphrodite to pay her a visit and make a wager with her, saying, I'll bring this man to life, he won't have any problem with your craft. You have to make him fall in love with you by the time of my festival in 6 weeks, and if you don't, I'm turning you both into stone. So that's kind of what sets the whole series in motion, and I grew up loving Greek mythology. Hercules, the Disney animated Hercules, is a major movie for me. I also love the rom-coms like I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, even modern really fun rom-coms like Our Flag Means Death, and I wanted to put kind of the fun, silly wackiness into this new take on Greek mythology.
Nice, very nice. And now how do we go from getting this from script to screen?
You call my manager, Cameron Covison. Well, I think that's what it feels really exciting now, because it feels like the industry's coming back, and there's more people are ready to take on more projects, and so I think the script's ready. I'm repped at Zero Gravity Management. The script's ready to go, and I think something that also you can't always put in a blurb on a website or when someone's sending you out is I love getting in and molding something with an executive, because I was that executive who used to develop projects with Ivan Reitman. So I'm just looking for the right partner to bring it to life.
And hopefully we'll see it. Hopefully.
Oh, there is also a short story version of Sculpted.
Oh, really?
That you can read. If you go to victoriamale.com, there's links to, because I'm proud to say the short story version has been published in 5 different literary magazines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so you can go to victoriamale.com, click on short stories, and it'll take you to where you can read Sculpted for free online.
Awesome, very awesome. And can you tell us a little bit more about your podcast as well?
Yes, so it was called Your Biggest Fangirl. It's something I'm so incredibly proud of. I did it for 3 years with my dear friend and collaborator, Kristen Chavez. We both met at the University of North Carolina and instantly bonded over Harry Potter and Glee and we had all these fandoms and passions in common. And even after we graduated, we stayed friends and we stayed in touch and we had all these amazing conversations about fandom, and not just like fun girls being like, oh my god, but also really deep, interesting conversations about these pieces of media that we loved. And I think we are both communication studies majors, and we noticed that there was a white space in the cultural conversation about fandom and talking about pop culture from the feminine perspective. And not just, again, I love to squee. As you can tell, I'm very over-enthusiastic, but I think women have a lot to say about pop culture and media, and so Your Biggest Fangirl was a space to do that, and not just Kristen and I talking about what we loved, but bringing on all these different women from all these different types of fandom. We had academics who were fans of pro wrestling. We had Ashley Eckstein on the podcast, who's the voice of the Soviet Turner. Yes. And it was this amazing way to explore and celebrate fandom from the feminine perspective. We did over 50 episodes, which I'm super proud, and it was just great to have like a platform to do that and to again uplift other women.
And where can we find your podcast again?
It is on all the podcatchers, I think, as they're called. Just look up Your Biggest Fangirl. Fangirl is one word. The cover's purple, and you'll be off to the races.
Okay, great. And for anyone women especially, who are looking into your field, be it a writer, producer, host a podcast, what sort of advice do you have for them, or what can you tell them that may help them with their path?
I think one thing, I always think that something my mother told me, because I have the tendency to say no to myself or not put myself out there especially as an artist, because I'm so afraid of getting rejected. And I think that's, especially when you put your heart and soul into a piece of art and something that you've created, that's only natural. But something my mother always, and she still reminds me to this day, is let someone else say no. Give the no to somebody else.
Okay.
Your job is to put something out there. And I mean, that's how I got represented and had my first script blow up. I took a chance, I emailed a manager contact of mine saying, hey, I have this feature film script and this pilot. Would you just be open to reading it? And then maybe we can talk about you representing me. And he took a couple weeks to read, and he came back and he said, yeah, the pilot's really good and I want to go out with the feature film this weekend. And then all of a sudden I was a writer. So I think just take a chance on yourself, be your own fairy godmother, and then I think as much as we all try to avoid rejection, because it really is, it's not fun. I can attest. You get those first couple no's.
It's part of the process.
It's part of the process, and then you start to build up your skin against it, and then you realize it's not going to kill you, and you just keep going, and everything you ever want is on the other side of it. So that would be my advice.
I love it. And last question.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite woman in the industry, someone who you perhaps look up to or have, and why?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I could be here all night.
Right.
I think the first name that popped to mind is Greta Gerwig.
Okay.
I worship at that woman's feet. I think because
Barbie was a phenomenon. It still is.
Yes, it's a way of life even.
Yeah.
But I think she's also, when you see her in interviews, I think she's so warm and immediate and approachable, and that doesn't mean she isn't a brilliant filmmaker.
Yes.
And I think and again, Barbie was this massive cultural moment, but I love Lady Bird, I love women. I think she's doing this amazing work of kind of shifting the narrative about female-led projects, and in a way that, yes, we can do classics, we can make movies about dolls that actually, wait, why were we crying about the movie about the doll, and pull in and have a musical number in the movie, which we're crying about the doll. So I think she's she's someone I really look up to because she's shifting the narrative and she's doing it so authentically as herself.
Thank you so much for being
Oh my
here,
God, thank
Victoria,
you.
with us.
I can't believe you know what sculpting was.
Of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome.